An update, if you watched the previous video of me just tidying up the baths, this is now kind of finished, although you're always doing things. I planted some more lettuces, I think there was 6, so one of them's gone in there. This bed has pretty much stayed as it was. Put another lettuce into this bed, just trimmed up these tomatoes so we get some airflow through, and these, I think they're cucumbers. I did lose all my labels way back, so I think they're cucumbers. This lettuce, I've chopped it down. It kind of started to go to seed. It's been in a while now. Oh, and I've just noticed another cucumber plant there. I can leave that one. This one I've tied up. The idea of having those in the bath was to let them trail over the side, but we'll see what happens. So in this bed, we have 2 tomato plants that are close together. And I've got 2 cucumbers that I've just bought from the store. It's I can focus it, Telegraph cucumber, which is our favourite type. Now the store had loads of aphid eggs on their plants, so I was very careful. They're a little bit transplanty worried, so we'll give them a bit of water shortly. And this one is oh yeah, that's helpful. A green cucumber, a slightly different bobbly skin. I planted one of the lettuces here, which is now kind of in the wrong place, but never mind. And I put this frame just to give them a bit of support. It's just a bit windy here, and we'll see how they go. Again, I'd like them to trail over, but we'll see how big they get. They might be too big for that space. And then this bath has become the lettuce bath. The other thing that I've done is I've just tied up the cauliflower plants and just trimmed off their bottom leaves. So there's 6 plants here. Each of them have now got a little head that's about the size of a tennis ball. And apparently if you tie them up like this, stops them from getting sunburned. So I did have them tied up a while back. I didn't really like what was happening to them, but I saw another gardener doing it, so I thought, okay, we'll give that another go. So now you can actually see that we've got 2 tomato plants in here that are starting to get very lanky and tall because they've been trying to compete with being hidden by the cucumbers. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cabbages there. I pulled one out the other day. So, and we've got a few lettuces down there. So that is the tidy up so far. We've still got heaps of jobs to do, but I think it's getting towards the end of the day and we should start to go into the house and do something different. But I will give you a little tour around what's the next job to do. Is just to restake some of these and just trim off some bottom leaves. I've got cauliflowers in there, but obviously we've got some insects eating them, so again I might see if I can tie those guys up as well. The basil's growing nicely. We've got lots of potential tomatoes coming, and we have got quite a few green tomatoes coming, as you can see down there. We've got lots. We've got some Romas over here. I'm not sure that we're going to have ripe tomatoes for Christmas Day though. I think we might have to wait. Here we go, there's the Romas. I've got them there. Might have to wait a bit longer. And I did notice that some of my Sunshine 100s have started to throw some tomatoes. They are really pretty little yellow cherry tomatoes and very sweet, so I'm sort of looking forward to getting some crop off those. The potatoes have all sprung themselves up now. I need to bank them up with some soil and smother some of these weeds. Some of the bigger ones I'll pull out. And that's where I pulled the potatoes out yesterday, so I've got to smother the weeds in this space and sort out these tomato plants here. Again, some of them need a bit of a stake now, and yeah, they've all started to grow. So the tomato plants on this side in this bed and these in the dirt here, are all ones that I've grown from seed. On the far side, they're all ones I've bought from the garden centre. So we've got, I need to water everybody again, but it is a little bit humid. I'll wait till it cools down before I do the watering again. but I think I need to up the water because the soil is actually getting quite dry, and the bees are just loving the borage, doing their bee thing. So we'll leave them to it because I don't really want to get stung, and I don't suppose they really want to sting me. So I'm going to put some more beetroot, sow some more beetroot, because I just need to keep the beetroot coming along. And this plant has a little bit, I think it's powdery mildew, so I took a whole heap of its leaves off, and I might take some more off and put some bicarbonate of soda, I think it is, that it needs a bit of a soak. These are my Sunshine 100 tomatoes, and we're just starting to see them come in. Where is it? There, can you see them? I don't know whether you can see them because the sun's in my eyes. And then I pulled out the Brussels sprouts, and we've got these massive onions that are bolting, which kind of look like something from outer space, some kind of alien invasion going on, and kind of very interesting. We'll see. Might just pull them out, but I kind of just let them do their thing, and they are quite pretty, really. And that's just opened up the space for the sunflowers and the corn and the beans that are underneath. These sunflowers are massive. I'm looking forward to them coming up with some yellow and black flowers, but I don't think they'll be too far away. So meanwhile we'll put up with these. These are very pretty. They're coming out very nice. So yeah, and I think the sunflowers bring the bees in. This corn is doing quite well. Corn as high as an elephant's eye. Isn't that how the song goes? And over here we want the corn to be as tall as the fence by this time of the year, which this one is. The corn that was in with the sunflowers is not as well, doing as well. And then in here we have butternut squash. Can you see that butternut squash? I prefer that to pumpkin, although they taste exactly the same in my opinion. So we've got lots of butternut squash coming in there, and we have courgettes, maybe a cucumber. They're very similar leaves, aren't they? Cucumbers, courgettes, and all the plants there. This one hasn't, it's got lots of things happening down there, but it hasn't kind of shown its colours yet. This one neither. I think it might be a courgette. And we've got some courgettes forming on these plants. Again, these are from the garden centre. Got powdery mildew on them, the same as the other one. So these two plants are garden centre plants. These plants over here are grown from my seeds, and they're all doing really well. So yeah, I'm going to have to... I did do some research on what you can do with that. It's kind of like it just happens. You just... Not a lot you can do, but I think you can give them some bicarbonate of soda in a wash, and it sort of helps a little bit. The watermelons are doing pretty well. They're starting to spread everywhere. These tomato plants have only just gone in. They're Cherokee purples, and they get really big. So we'll see how they go. They're a heritage, a bit like a beefsteak, but they've got a purpley hue. This one is just a red tomato, starting to show some flowers. So we'll have some tomatoes on that one. Let's bring the bees in. And we have some little baby watermelons forming. So that'll be quite fun. Again, these are plants that are all over the place, eh? So over here we've got potatoes and yams in there, and they're not doing wonderfully well on that part of this piece of dirt. This over here they're doing a lot better, so I just banked them all up earlier today with straw around them just to keep the light off the potatoes, and they looked as though they were quite a lot ready. Got a whole patch of weeds, but hiding in there is kumara, so we'll just leave them. These are the yams. Again, they really need banking up, but it's a little tricky to get in there, so we'll just see how we go. Pumpkins are doing really well. This is just 2 plants here, 2 pumpkin plants that grew from seed, and as you can see we've got, I don't know, I think I've probably counted about 15 so far, the pumpkin plant, and there's more coming. Oh, some of those are male flowers that you can see down there, but There's some of them. That's a girl, and there's a pumpkin forming there. There's about 5 just round here, I think. One there and one over there. So they're doing really well, starting to go everywhere, as pumpkin does. The borage is doing its job of bringing the bees. Probably a little too much borage than I really want. And I stuck some potatoes in the dirt not too long ago. They're all coming up. And this pumpkin is, not pumpkin, sorry, this kumara is doing quite well. So that is a little look around the garden at December the 23rd.